Hello, in this video we're going to look at Frederic Bastiat's How Paris Gets Fed. Bastiat published the book Economic Sophisms in 1845. I'm going to discuss this chapter 18, a rather short chapter, titled There Are No Absolute Principles. Bastiat states, quote, "On coming to Paris for a visit, I said to myself, here are 1,000,000 human beings who would all die in a few days if supplies of all sorts did not flow into this great metropolis. It staggers the imagination to try to comprehend the vast multiplicity of objects that must pass through its gates tomorrow, if its inhabitants are to be preserved from the horrors of famine, insurrection, and pillage. And yet, all are sleeping peacefully at this moment, without being disturbed for a single instant by the idea of so frightful a prospect. On the other hand, 80 departments, which means regions in France, have worked today without cooperative planning or mutual arrangements to keep Paris supplied. How does each succeeding day manage to bring to this gigantic market just what is necessary? Neither too much nor too little." Interpretation. Bastiat sets up the economic calculation problem. How can a complex modern city function without anyone in charge of coordinating all of these moving pieces? He marvels at the spontaneous emergent order that arises to keep people fed and well supplied in Paris, despite no one being in charge. He notes that there is no cooperative planning or mutual agreements with other regions of the country, that is the departments. Despite a lack of central planning, efficiency results with neither too much nor too little being supplied. Bastiat continues, what then is a resourceful and secret power that governs the amazing regularity of such complicated movements, a regularity in which everyone has such implicit faith, although his prosperity and his very life depend upon it? That power is an absolute principle, the principle of free exchange. We put our faith in that inner light which Providence has placed in the hearts of all men, and to which has been entrusted the preservation and the unlimited improvement of our species, a light we term self-interest, which is so illuminating, so constant, and so penetrating when it is left free of every hindrance. So what keeps Paris fed? Bastiat's answer is free exchange and self-interest. Free exchange allows countless individual decisions to be made in which people weigh the marginal benefits with the marginal cost, ensuring decisions are rational and welfare-enhancing. Free exchange that naturally arises brings cooperation, coordination, and human betterment. Self-interest is the natural human trait that guides people to make decisions that benefit both themselves and society. Bastiat is using language here to describe self-interest as a natural or universal human trait. Bastiat, where would you be, inhabitants of Paris, if some cabinet minister decided to substitute for that power contrivances of his own invention? However superior we might suppose him to be, if he proposed to subject this prodigious mechanism to a supreme direction, to take control of all of it into his own hands, determine by whom, where, and how, and under what conditions everything should be produced, transported, exchanged, and consumed. Although there may be much suffering within your walls, although misery, despair, and perhaps starvation cause more tears to flow than your warm-hearted charity can wipe away, it is probable, I dare say it is certain, that the arbitrary intervention of the government would infinitely multiply the suffering and spread among all of you the ills that now affect only a small number of your fellow citizens. So Bastiat warns against replacing the natural market system with central planning. Imagine if a government minister tried to control all aspects of economic life, who produces what, how goods move, and how they are consumed. Bastiat argues that government intervention would make things worse. An imperfect market, he is arguing, is better than a well-intentioned government planning. Finally, in the last part of the chapter, Bastiat applies his argument about free markets to international trade. If we trust free exchange and self-interest to coordinate the complex domestic economy of Paris, why not trust these same principles for international trade? He points out the inconsistency in accepting free markets domestically while supporting protectionist policies internationally. Okay, that's it.